Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by all the endless financial jargon out there, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're cutting through all that noise to give you a clear, structured path to financial independence. We're going to break down exactly what it takes to retire comfortably in America.
So let's just dive right into it by asking the big question that's probably on everyone's mind. What does it really take to retire? For decades, financial magazines, water cooler chats, you name it, they've all thrown around this one very specific number. You've probably heard it. Is $1 million the ultimate finish line?
Or, wait, maybe that's total overkill? Like, is $500,000 actually enough to sustain you if you're planning on living a more modest life?
Or do you absolutely need to hit that classic $1 million milestone just to sleep soundly at night when you finally stop working? Actually, scratch that. What about $2 million? Honestly, with the cost of living these days, maybe the bar has just been raised across the board. But here's the surprising truth. A single, universal, magic number? It actually doesn't exist. Your number is entirely unique to you.
To help you build your own actionable roadmap, we're going to cover 5 steps today. First, the magic number myth. 2, designing your retirement lifestyle. 3, the retirement math explained. 4, navigating accounts and timelines. And 5, your personal action plan.
All right, let's start with step 1, the magic number myth.
Here's the thing. Focusing on a random lump sum will completely lead you astray. Why? Because your actual target is heavily dictated by a very specific set of variables. You can't just pull a number out of thin air. Your needs depend on your desired lifestyle, when you want to retire, and your life expectancy. Think about it. Imagine retiring at 55 with your house completely paid off versus retiring at 65 while still renting an apartment in a super expensive city, right? Those two realities require vastly different bank accounts. And then you have to factor in inflation, healthcare costs, and taxes, plus your location and cost of living. Heading into retirement mortgage-free completely changes your monthly overhead compared to someone who is still writing that check to the bank every single month.
Which brings us to some pretty dangerous misconceptions out there. First off, the idea that everyone needs exactly $1 million is simply false, as we just saw with all those variables. Second, thinking Social Security alone is going to save the day, that is incredibly risky. For most folks, it was only ever designed to replace about 40% of your pre-retirement income. Third, believing it's too late to start investing is a huge trap. Starting later is always better than not starting at all. And finally, the myth that retirement planning is only for the ultra-wealthy? Yeah, that just isn't true. Wealth is built through consistency and time, not just a massive paycheck.
Moving right along to section 2, designing your retirement lifestyle. So what does your future actually look like? Whether you want a lean retirement or a luxurious one, your estimated annual spending is going to change drastically. Let's look at the breakdown. A lean retirement might cost you around $40,000 a year. Step that up to a comfortable middle-class retirement, and you're looking at about $60,000 a year. But a luxury retirement, the kind where you really aren't checking price tags, that's easily going to run you $100,000 or more every year. Let's put those two extremes head-to-head for a second. Someone aiming for that lean $40,000 budget might happily trade luxury cars for a nice bicycle or international flights for local camping trips, just so they can exit the workforce a decade early. Now compare that to a couple retiring at 65 who want that $100,000 luxury lifestyle. We're talking frequent flights, fancy dinners, spoiling the grandkids, the whole shebang. They are going to need a much larger portfolio to support that kind of outflow. Your desired lifestyle completely dictates your math.
Okay, let's get into the numbers with section 3, the retirement math explained.
So how exactly do you turn a giant pile of savings into a reliable yearly paycheck? Well, enter the 4% rule. It's basically a guideline to help estimate your retirement needs by safely withdrawing about 4% of your portfolio annually without running out of cash. Now keep in mind, it is a highly popular guideline, not an absolute set-in-stone guarantee, but it really helps you estimate how much income your investments can generate year after year, even while adjusting for inflation.
When you actually break the math down, things get super clear. A $500,000 portfolio, that generates about $20,000 a year in income. If you double that to a $1 million portfolio, you get approximately $40,000 a year. And a $2 million portfolio brings you closer to $80,000 a year. Crazy, right? Suddenly, those giant multi-million-dollar numbers don't seem quite so massive when you realize how much annual income they actually translate to on a day-to-day basis.
Now, if your estimated investment income seems a little low right now, don't panic. Your retirement income is like a pie made up of multiple slices. Many retirees combine their investment portfolio withdrawals with Social Security benefits and other personal savings to create one complete income picture. You don't have to fund your entire life solely from your investments. It all works in tandem.
There is, however, a massive trap you absolutely have to avoid. You can't just rely on standard savings accounts. Why? Because of a silent wealth killer called inflation. Just think about what a gallon of milk or a cup of coffee cost 20 years ago compared to today. That same invisible force will just eat away at your purchasing power over time. $1 today literally won't buy you $1's worth of goods in 20 years. This is exactly why investing is absolutely essential. We invest for long-term growth to make sure our money outpaces inflation and actually grows in real value.
Which brings us to Section 4, navigating accounts and timelines.
To actually build this wealth, you need to use the right tools, specifically foundational accounts like the 401k, the traditional IRA, the Roth IRA, and taxable brokerage accounts. Utilizing these specific tax-advantaged accounts is hands down the most effective way to grow your money. They shield your investments from being dragged down by taxes year after year. And this is huge for everyone. For instance, a teacher earning $70,000 a year who consistently uses these accounts can build massive, life-changing wealth over their career simply by letting compound interest do all the heavy lifting inside those tax shelters.
Of course, your exact strategy is going to shift depending on your current age. If you're starting in your 20s, time is your greatest asset. Even small amounts are going to compound into a total fortune. In your 30s and 40s, it's really about accelerating those contributions as your income hopefully grows. But what if you're in your 50s? Well, here's the crucial takeaway. Whether you're starting fresh in your 20s or playing catch-up in your 50s, you can still build a really solid plan. The math still works. You just have to adjust your savings rate and your expectations.
All right, let's wrap this up with Section 5, your personal action plan.
Let's bring this all together into a 5-step playbook that you can execute literally today. First, calculate your expected expenses based on the exact lifestyle you want. Second, immediately grab any 401k match from your employer. That is literally free money. Do not leave it on the table. Third, contribute consistently and make it a hard rule to increase those contributions whenever you get a raise. Fourth, ensure you're actually investing those funds for long-term growth, not just letting them sit in cash. And fifth, commit to reviewing your plan every single year to make sure you're still on track.
Because ultimately the amount you need to retire isn't determined by some mythical magic number. It's determined by the lifestyle you want, how long you expect to live, and how consistently you save and invest. The best retirement plan? It's the one you start today. The true secret to financial independence isn't about hitting a random number you heard on the news. It's the power of simply getting started. So I'll leave you with this. Are you going to let another day compound against you, or is today the day you take that very first step toward the future you deserve?